Next this evening, vigils are being held right across the East Midlands tonight to mark 3 years since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. In the last hour, events began in the centres of Derby and Nottingham. Meanwhile, prayers for peace are about to begin at Leicester Cathedral. And our social affairs correspondent, Jeremy Ball, is there for us tonight. Good evening, Jeremy.
Yeah, good evening, Anne. Just look at and listen to this. Traditional Ukrainian hymns being sung outside Leicester Cathedral. And what an emotional night this is for a community that settled here in Leicester, started settling here several decades ago. But of course, in the last 3 years or so, a lot of new families have arrived after fleeing from that war. A lot of their visas sponsored by hosts that they've been staying with here, and that scheme has brought well over 8,000 Ukrainian refugees to the East Midlands. One of those families have been staying in Derby in Grantham, I should say, for the last 3 years, and Shirley Henry has been to meet them.
You fall asleep in a peaceful country and then you wake up in all of that huge mess, chaos, by just hearing the news saying that there's an attack, an invasion. I was like, if that's a dream, please wake up.
This wasn't a dream. When Russia invaded Ukraine, Oksana, Polina and their cat Fiona left their flat in Ukraine and have been living with a host family in Grantham for nearly 3 years.
We've told them that they can stay for as long as they need us.
I think it's just about being a decent human being, isn't it? I mean, would I want somebody to do the same thing for me if I was in their situation? Yes, I very much would.
For the guest, life in the UK is bittersweet.
I'm worried about my family and my friends, and it's not easy. My life is broken, it's destroyed.
You're grateful for being here, that you're safe, that you're in peace, but like you're feeling horrible because you have an entire family over there and you can't do anything about this.
Ingrid understands the challenges facing refugees because her mother Mary was also a refugee. In 1947, her family fled Indonesia after an uprising.
She didn't speak a word of English, and she felt really strongly that you need to have more support than just 6 months. It's a very short period of time.
They just said, it doesn't matter how long you're going to stay here, you're just going to stay here because you're not the guests in this house, you're the part of the family first now. I am very grateful for those people and to these people from the top of my heart.
Shirley Henry, BBC East Midlands Today, Grantham.
Well, back here in Leicester, we're about to get a rendition of the Ukrainian national anthem, which you will probably hear in just a moment. Let's have a chat with Wol Walchuk from the Leicester Ukrainian Centre. Well, I mean, this is an emotional day, isn't it? How significant is this third anniversary?
Well, it's very significant. None of us ever thought we would be here at this time, 3 years down the line. It's a very, very sad day in Ukrainian history, and it's a very, very sad day for all Ukrainians, not just in Ukraine, but around the world.
You're praying for peace here tonight. Are you worried about what that peace might look like?
Following on from the rhetoric that's come out from the Trump versus and Putin conversations, then I am a bit concerned. However, any negotiations must include Ukraine. Ukraine have got to be at that table. This is about Ukraine for Ukrainians, and it should be fully supported by Ukraine.
Let's have a quick word with Yulia and Vladimir. You've been in Cantersthorpe and Blaby for the last 3 years. What's the future for you, do you think?
We just want this war to end and back home to our relatives and our friends.
Yeah, honestly, this is the hardest question about the future because we can't predict what it will be in the next months, years. So we just hope for the peace. That's all.
And well, it's been an extraordinary 3 years for you, hasn't it? What lessons do you think you've learned from all this?
That all Ukrainians are the same, whether they are diaspora Ukrainians or Ukrainians actually from Ukraine and from around the world. We support each other, we love each other, we look after each other, and we're doing our best to make sure that this peace process includes Ukraine and we can move forward to a very, very quick end to this war.
What a spectacle here The service is about to start in the cathedral. The bishop's here, lots of other supporters here, and as this goes on, events going on in Derby and Nottingham as well.
OK, Jeremy, thank you very much indeed for that. We'll leave it there.